Pause YouTube. Hopefully y'all are having a good day today. And yeah, I actually have a picture for you guys. Now if you're wondering what the special occasion is, I actually reached 4K and I am actually partnered now by Machinima. So yeah, thank you everybody who has supported me this far. Hopefully you guys will continue to show the support and continue liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, favoriting. I don't know, just whatever you do, guys. Thank you for making all of this possible. I didn't think I'd be here. I've been doing this for about a year now, or a little over a year, and it's just awesome. Anyways, today we got a very good battle against Retro Mushroom, who used to be known as Cool Trainer T. Unfortunately, his channel got hacked. So if you guys used to be subscribed to him, his channel link is going to be down in the description, so make sure to go check him out and resubscribe to his old channel, which he is now uploading to again. Anyways, potential threats on his team. The Kingdra and the Shaman are the real only two things I'm going to be afraid about, just because the only special wall on my team that can take significant hits from those two is going to be my Snorlax, and even then, Snorlax's only form of recovery is going to be rest, so those two I really have to watch out for. But seeing that he didn't have a Rapid Spinner, I decided to lead off with my Roserade, knowing that I should be able to get up a free layer of spikes, barring the fact that he doesn't lead off with a possible Flygon. As he led off with Manchow, due to the fact that I do have Sableye, I know he's going to be forced to switch out, which means I can get up my first layer of spikes as he turns out into the Bronzong. I can then get up my second layer of spikes as he goes for the Stealth Rocks. Here, I'm going to make a very stupid play and actually stay in, and I go for the Giga Drain. I thought that maybe he wanted to switch out, which was really stupid, seeing as Roserade can really do nothing to Bronzong, and as you saw, Gyro Ball is around a 3 to 4 hit KO, so either way, if I stay in, I will eventually lose this battle. So I decided to switch directly out to my Sableye as he actually pulls his own double switch out to the Flygon. Now obviously, because the Will-O-Wisp is obvious, I know he's going to be forced to switch out, but either way, if I can get anything burned on his team, that's greatly going to be appreciated as he switches into the Shaman. I actually hit it. Now this Will-O-Wisp hit is actually very crucial, because as you're about to see, here is the key play of this battle. Now I know from prior experience that Sableye at full HP can take one Seed Flare from Life Orb Shaman. So I stayed in and I went for the foul play, and after the burn damage, this Shaman is brought down to a point where either A, if he switches out, it dies off to the hazards when he switches it back in, or B, if he stays in, it's going to die off to the combination of Life Orb and Burn, which means he is going to be forced to go for the rest. I do predict that, and I go for the taunt, which means this Shaman, one of the two threats on his team, is gone, and I'm going to be able to use my Snorlax better against that Kingdra and being able to take hits from it. As I switch out, wanting to save my Sableye for later on in the battle as a possible death fodder, or maybe if he wants to switch into the Kajondo Manchow, and High Jump Kick, then he'll crash and burn and all that. So I brought in Roserade as he went for the Seed Flare. He's going to bring in the Flygon. Obviously I don't want to take a U-turn or an Earthquake, but I switch into my Hitmontop, and judging from that damage, considering that I had him intimidated and that I am max defense, max HP, that Flygon is indeed banded. Also, if you guys didn't catch it, first turn of the game, Manchow did not take any Life Orb damage, which means that Manchow is scarfed, which means that Flygon is banded, judging from the damage that he did to my Hitmontop. So he brings in the Kingdra. I do not want anything on my team outside of my Snorlax to take a Draco or a Hydro Pump, so I switch that in. Now because he's at -2, I know he's not going to be able to finish me off, which means I can freely go for a Body Slam on whatever he decides to bring in. Thankfully for me, he doesn't bring in the Bronzong, and actually brings in the Quillfish. Above that, I'm actually able to get the 30% paralysis, and even then he's going to get fully paralyzed the following turn. Now, before anybody says, oh, that mattered, oh, you hacked him. Well, I did hack him, but he just told me he was going for a layer of spikes, and because I brought in my Hitmontop, either way, I would have gone for the Rapid Spin, so that paralysis really did not matter whatsoever. I don't know, you guys can argue with me about it, but he told me himself it didn't matter. So yeah, I go for the Rapid Spin. As he Thunder Waves me, he's going to bring in the Flygon. I don't want to take an Outrage, a possible Earthquake. No, actually, we both double switched, and he got the better end of that double switch. And I'm actually going to switch into my Sableye as Death Fodder. The reason why I did this is because his two offensive hitters are obviously the Flygon and the Manchow, and I have Gligar and Hitmontop for both of them. So Sableye at that point was the most expendable thing on my team, and I really didn't need it. As I switch into my Snorlax, I actually thought that this would be the final turn for me to have my Snorlax, considering that any 2 hits from Kingdra would actually be able to finish me off. But for some reason, he switches out. I don't know why. I guess maybe he thought after -2 Draco wouldn't finish me off, or maybe he didn't want to miss, which I guess is understandable, but Specs Kingdra is a monster. The only reason he had to switch was if he thought he would miss. I don't know why else. But yeah, he brought in the Flygon. Obviously, because the Earthquake or Outrage is very, very obvious, I'm actually going to stay in and go for the Sleep Talk. I managed to pull the Whirlwind as he brought in the Manchow. If I actually pulled the Body Slam and got the Paralysis, that would have helped me out so much more, but hey, it's not that big of a deal. As his turn, I'm thinking he would go for the Outreach, so I bring in my Gligar, but no, he makes the better play and actually goes for the U-turn. U-turns out to the Manchow, and I know because this thing is Scarfed, I should be able to take one Hidden Power Ice and still be able to get up my Stealth Rocks, as he actually predicted me to switch out to Snorlax, predicting him to go for the Hidden Power Ice. He's going to be forced to switch out this turn, and the off chance that maybe he's not Bandit or that he's like Expert Bud or something weird like that, Lumberry, I'm actually just going to stay in and go for the Roost. As he brought in the Bronzong, I really cannot touch Bronzong. He has Levitate and is not affected by Toxic, so that thing is like the perfect counter to my Gligar, which means I'm going to be forced to bring in my Hitmontop as he actually switches out into the Flygon. Obviously, I do not want anything on my team to take a Choice Banded Outrage because nothing is going to be taking two of those, so I decided to stay in. Thankfully for me, I don't get paralyzed when I go for close combat or go for the Sucker Punch, and after those two hits, this Flygon is brought down to a range to whether it's either going to die to the next two Stealth Rock switch-ins or it's going to die off to my U-turn when I switch into my Victini, which I do go for the U-turn because really I had no reason to V-Create or go for the Fusion Bolt. I say Fusion Bolt because this battle was taken, I believe, a week or 3 before Bolt Strike was released, so yeah. A U-turn now into my Roserade, and I actually get a crit. Now, hear me out. It did not matter because he told me himself he was just going for a layer of spikes, and as you'll see from this battle, that one layer of spikes damage that he would have got on my team really does not play a role at all. As he finishes off my Roserade, I can now bring in my Victini, go for the U-turn. If you're wondering why he locked himself into the Outrage, it's because obviously I have the Gligar, which I can switch in, which means if he switched out and switched back in, it would die off to Rocks, or I could just Toxic it. And yeah, either way, the best play for him to go for was Outrage. As he switches into the Manchow, I'm actually just going to leave in my Snorlax as Death Fodder, but he actually predicted me to bring in Gligar, thinking he would go for a high jump kick. No, Snorlax is really the most expendable thing on my team at this point. Just because once I lose Snorlax, I can bring in Victini, V-Create the Bronzong, switch out to my Gligar on the Manchow and just finish off the game with Gligar. That isn't the case though. Knowing that I really can't do anything to this Bronzong, I'm actually going to switch it to my Victini as he makes a good play and actually predicts that. Goes for the Earthquake, but due to the fact that I did paralyze the Manchow with the Body Slam for my Snorlax, I really have nothing to worry about this thing, and then Kingdra should die out to the Hazards, which thankfully it does. And at this point, the battle is going to be mine. So yeah, that was actually a very, very fun, awesome game. That's possibly one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh battles I've had in a while, especially that prediction with the Shaman and my Sableye. It was just a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for 4,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you for everything that you've done. I know I already said this. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Do what you guys do. Do what you normally do. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I do believe I'm out of here. I'm in just such a good mood, guys.